the Knicks on the road, because the Johnnies, of course, hosted that game, against Kate Cunningham in the first place in the Eastern Conference. Detroit Pistons 7-1 in second games of back-to-back, taking on the Knicks, who have an 8-game win streak, tied for the most in the league. The Cadillac working through traffic. Detroit, most wins versus teams 500 or better in the league, 17, trying to get it to 18. Dennis Jenkins hits the triple. Pistons end the first quarter on a 14-3 run. They are up by 11. Jalen Brunson, he's had better days. He's had better games, certainly. His worst field goal percentage in any first half of his career. Finished with 12 points, 4 for 20 from the field. By the way, something about this Pistons team, they have the Knicks at least figured out recently. They beat him by 31 points early January. This time, no Cat. He has an eye injury. No OG Anunoby. Ooh. He has something up with his toe. Meanwhile, you got Isaiah Stewart throwing it down. The Pistons win by 38 and snap New York's 8-game win streak.
Only 80 points for the Knicks. All right, comeback city as you go from streaks snapped to hopes dash. Nikola Vucevic making his Celtics debut. Came off the bench, still learning the system. The first half, abysmal. 38 points in the first half for the Green. Their worst scoring first half under Joe Mazzulla. Derek White in the third, though, king the comeback, finding Vooch inside, who said it's very loud. Talking about the Garden, one of the loudest places in the NBA. It's much nicer when the fans are behind you and supporting you, and they were. He went for 11 points, 12 rebounds. Here's Derek White. Horrible shooting first half, a little bit better in the second. Corner triple, yes, and we are all square at 72. The Celts were down by as many as 22 points in this game. Peyton Pritchard also off the bench. He had 24 points, but he finds White, who made 4 triples.
You said that White guy was a problem in Boston.
I don't know if I've said that aloud, verbally. Norman Powell, meanwhile, for the Miami Heat, 24 for him. He had 3 threes, and we're all square at 79. Now we're tied at 91. Davion Mitchell out to Andrew Wiggins, who had his 3rd highest scoring game this season. He had 26 points. The Heat back out in front. Jaylen Brown shook off a bit of a leg issue early in the first half, kind of shaking it out, walking a little gingerly, but he corrals a loose ball, no whistle. That's okay. 29 points, a lot of contact, I'm just saying. 14th straight 20-point game. Vooch to White, corner throw, like he's so open. Oh, up fake. The defender's not even in the frame. The defender's in the crowd. The Celts have a 2-point lead. 21 for D-Dub. Wiggins to Mitchell in the corner. A chance, no. Vooch's debut is a winning one. 98-96, the Celtics win.
The Timberwolves are 12 games over 500, taking on the Pelicans, who are 26 games under 500. New Orleans has no business being in this game with the T-Wolves, and honestly, they weren't at points, down 18. But here come the Pelicans. Sadiq Bey, 30 points. They tied at 102. New Orleans has a 3-game losing streak currently. Ant Edwards, your 2019 first overall pick, taking on Zion Williamson, your 2020 first overall pick. Ant-Man had 35 points, his 15th 35-point game, second most in the NBA, only behind Luka. Off the Edwards miss, Pelicans have a 2-point lead now. Bones Highland triple puts the T-Wolves up by 1. Next Pels possession, Zion, 2020's #1 overall pick. He's working 2 of his 29 over the Stifle Tower. Pels up 2 after the free throw, 20 seconds to go. Timberwolves still with a chance. The ball is in the hands of the man you want to have taking this shot. Falling away at the baseline, no. Edwards can't get it to go, and the Pelicans come back from being down 18 and get the win on the road in Minnesota, 119-115. We head back to the West Coast. It's the Clippers taking on the Kings. Kawhi and Chris Dunn, where were you the night they took care of business in Sacramento? Actually, the Clippers have won 5 straight against the Kings. Kawhi flushes that. Clips go up 2, 4.5 to go in the third quarter. Leonard to Derrick Jones Jr., 2 of his 13. He's always above the rim. Clips up 7. Let's get to the fourth quarter now. Kawhi just dictating the tempo of the game, man, which is slow. You know what I'm saying? Slow but fast. Slow but steady.
Right?
That's what wins the race.
There can be pace.
Correct.
You know, without speed.
Pace, picante. No, different pace. Leonard at 31 points, 30th straight game going 20 or more. Chris Dunn, floater in the lane. Got it. No more Ivica Zubats on this team. No more James Harden on this team. Dunn at 15 points. A couple minutes later, Clips up by 5. Leonard kicking out. Jones Jr. Ooh, the whistle on the 4-point play. LA converts that. They're up by 9. The Kings have lost 11 straight games going into this. Let's go ahead and stretch that. Actually, it's 11 straight games as of last night.
Loss for the Kings. Jay, we got a pair of Western duels today in NBA doubleheader for you on ABC. Tonight, 8:30 Eastern, it's a Pacific Division clash. You got the Warriors, the Lakers. Luka's got that hamstring strain. LA currently, though, leads the Pacific. Golden State in third. But we start the day, 3:30 Eastern. The defending champions, the Thunder, hosting the Rockets. Houston, Oklahoma City rank in the top 5 in both offensive and defensive ratings this season. Anscape senior writer David Dennis Jr. We call him 2 Chainz because it's Saturday and he got them chains out. He joins us to talk about these games. Okay, Double D. Rockets facing a Thunder team that will be without SGA. He's still trying to recover from that abdominal injury. Jalen Williams is out as well. How important do you think it is then for Houston to get a victory tonight?
It's really important. Like, sometimes you just need a win just for vibes, just to improve the vibes. And the Rockets are 2-6 against these best teams in the West: Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets. I know SGA won't be there for the Thunder this time, but I think they could use a win like this, especially over the last 2 games against basically the Celtics bench and the Hornets. They could not put up 100 points in each of those games. This Rockets offense has been abysmal, and as a result, this team is barely above 500 over the last few weeks. They are bottom in the league pretty much in points, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, assists. A lot of that is, a little bit of Amen Thompson and the fact that he's playing out of position at the point guard. He's struggling there. Alperen Sengun is also struggling offensively and really, really struggling defensively, which is why he's getting called out by his coach. But the Rockets really need to start stringing some wins and start stringing some good vibes if they're going to make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, and Alperen Sengun certainly doesn't help when he gets kicked out of games for their, cursing at officials. That's going to cost him as well. All right, for someone who, of course, once played for both the Rockets and the Thunder, James Harden could make his Cavs debut as early as tonight against the Kings after being traded by the Clippers earlier this week. Give me your perspective there on Harden, because if I'm not mistaken, this will be the 4th time in 6 years he has demanded or forced a trade. Give me your thoughts there on how Harden, as they try to contend for a title there in Cleveland.
Well, first of all, if they play the Kings tonight, they're going to look like geniuses. They're going to wipe the floor with the Kings. They lost 11 in a row. So I think that if you want to start somewhere, you got to start with that game. But overall, long term here, as you mentioned, Harden has made these trade demands. And a lot of these times with these other teams, you can make some excuses about injuries with Brooklyn, the mess that was there with Kawhi injuries, with Philadelphia injuries. Right now, you're going to a team that wants to compete for a championship that is healthy pretty much outside of who they just traded away in Darius Garland. So now it is about James Harden kind of rewriting how we talk about him and how we talk about his legacy come playoff time. There's going to be a moment here, whether it's the Knicks or against the Celtics, against the Pistons, where you're in Game 6 or Game 7 and the ball is in James Harden's hands and he has to show up better than he's shown up in Game 6 and Game 7s in the past. All the regular season stuff is what the regular season stuff is what it's going to be. But those Game 6s and Game 7s, that's where James Harden is going to have to leave his mark on this season.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do there with Cleveland. By the way, Cavs currently just 7.5 games behind in the Eastern Conference, leading Pistons, who of course beat the Knicks last night. 2nd time this season. Give me your take now on Detroit's dominance over New York, because they have whooped these guys by 30+ twice now.
Yeah, you talk about my chains. The Pistons and snatched the Knicks chains a couple of times this season, beating them by a combined 69 points in 2 games. Look, I know Karl Anthony Towns was out last night. I know OG Anunoby was out last night, but the Pistons are showing up to these Knicks and saying, hey, we feel like we should have beaten you in the playoffs last year, and we're going to remind you that, and we're going to punch you in the face every single time. Now, if I'm the Knicks, this is what I'm feeling. I'm saying, hey, we got dominated by the Celtics in the regular season, and we got dominated by some of these good teams in the regular season, and we beat them in the playoffs. So come catch us come playoff time. But at some point, the Knicks have to show these young dudes at the Pistons that, hey, we can beat you and we can, stand up to you guys in the regular season to get ready for the playoffs. Because right now, they've shown no fight against a Pistons team that wants to go out there and destroy the Knicks every time they're on the court together. Yeah, you're right about that. At some point, the Knicks have got to act like Craig or Ice Cube, because they've been deboed both times, it seems like. There you go. Here by the Pistons. By the way, Knicks Pistons, they'll meet again on February 19th. Want to try to boast at what I look like. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA
to return.